Okay, Wookie, we get the message, and that was...
He's excited. He's very excited.
I know, it's almost as if he knows something that we don't, and I really fear for the health of our other Wookie. I haven't seen him for a fortnight now. You know, I was away up home last week, never touched base with the Wookie, and now we've got this almost... I don't know, he's almost acting gallus, like he knows, like I say, Scott, it's like he knows something we don't. And I think, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but I think he sent the other Wookiee to Epstein's Island, dude.
Oh, no.
I'm not lying. I think that's what happened, man.
You know, I mean...
Last scene getting on the Lolita Express.
Very, very, very disappointed if the Wookiee took that trip.
I'm hoping it's fake news. I'm hoping it is.
Yes,
indeed.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too.
Hopefully, we'll have an update on tomorrow's live stream. You know, hopefully, I'm just waiting for one of our deep state contacts to get back to me, and yeah, hopefully, yeah. Wookiee will be safe. Yeah. But Scott, we're moving into the final hour. Let's take that woo and dial it up a couple of notches. And talking about one of my favourite topics last night, Antarctica. And now here I am tonight, and you drop in a link to a story that is equally as fascinating as anything that you can talk about with Antarctica. And this takes me back a few years, because we're going to be talking about something called the Baltic Sea Anomaly. Before I hand over to you, Scott, I remember when this first started getting talked about, I'd be lying if I told you the year. I would just be plucking it out of the air. But what sticks in my mind is the fact that when you're talking about this Baltic Sea anomaly, it looks like the Millennium Falcon. It looks like it's crashed. It's underwater.
See, that there we go. That is why the Wookiee was so excited.
You see, now it makes sense, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So what's been happening? What's the latest, man?
He's just excited about the Baltic Sea anomaly.
Is he going berserk? Is he going berserk like the compass, Scott?
Yes, he is. So yeah, there's been a newly discovered Baltic Sea anomaly. Not the one that has been reported or that we've been talking about, but there's another one. So it says, newly discovered Baltic Sea anomaly causes compass to go berserk. The so-called Baltic Sea anomaly, now known as Anomaly 1 for obvious reasons.
How cool's that? That makes it even more cool. It's now known as something else, like Anomaly 1. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know. This is pretty crazy. It says a large disc-shaped object on the floor of the Baltic Sea with alleged mysterious powers to interfere with electronic equipment that many attributed to it being an alien craft, but they say it's just a natural rock formation.
Yeah, so's the pyramid.
Yeah. Apparently has a companion with its own alleged superpower to make compasses go berserk. At least that's what Peter Lindberg, the Swedish explorer who found Anomaly 1, said about what his team discovered on a recent trip to get a better sonar reading of the original, and instead found a new Anomaly 2. It was very difficult to understand where the ROV was, or where the ROV were, because of the terrible visibility and because the compass that went berserk. The compass was living its own life, and the tether was snagged all the time. Peter Lindberg recently shared on the Ocean Explorer Facebook group page the OceanX team official discussion group, the details of his team's return to the site of Anomaly 1 on June 8th of this year. He described it as a low-budget expedition to do more research on Anomaly 2, an object that a previous side scan sonar image showed to look like a big slab or monolith.
Oh.
Lindbergh admits that the remotely operated vehicle he was using was not suited for the murky Baltic Sea bottom. It was equipped with the cheapest sonar there is on the market, but this was low budget, so the team made do. After its compass went berserk, as did the compass on the ROV, which discovered Anomaly 1, he somehow moved it closer to Anomaly 2 anyway. Suddenly, some very straight lines appeared on the sonar screen. The ROV was piloted against them, and when we came close enough, a perfect rectangle appeared on the sonar screen.
You see, nature doesn't do right angles and straight lines like that. And I don't know, dude. This is really cool. I mean, a monolith-like structure now as well.
It says, based on the sonar data, Lindbergh estimated the rectangle to measure 13 meters by 25 meters, which is
that's huge.
42.5 feet by 82 feet. Although he admits it could be longer, this was not the big slab or monolith he thought it was. Images and videos can be... So, what was it? I don't say it is, but it looked like low stone walls sticking up through the sediment. But wait, there's more. Later analysis of the sonar image showed this. The rectangle is actually located between the two objects that are visible on the side scan sonar image, but we did not realize that when we were still at the site. At that point, the low-budget expedition ended due to running low on fuel. By using the terms rectangle and walls, Lindbergh implies that Anomaly 2 is not a natural formation, even though most geologists believe Anomaly 1 is a rock and not a UFO. What about the berserk compass? As in the previous expedition, the electronic interference appears to be anecdotal and can be attributed to the adverse conditions or equipment malfunctions. Yeah, sure. Is the rectangle made by nature or by someone? That is something we need to find out. Yes, Ocean X is admittedly a shipwreck salvaging team of treasure hunters, and it needs investments, rich partners, and curious tourists to stay in business and purchase better equipment for solving the mystery of the Baltic Sea anomalies. For profit or not, they're all we've got right now. If you don't like their theories, go get your own boat and ROVs and join the hunt. So, yeah, very interesting. We have a second anomaly.
Very interesting. Very. And I went to the Facebook group, like you mentioned in there, Scott, in the article. And I'm going to post a couple of things over to the TFR Live chat room so they can get a look at what we're talking about here.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Quite interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. And exactly what you said at the end of that article there. You know, people are obviously going to mock this and knock it, but we've not been there. And, you know, this guy and his team, they've been putting some amount of hours into researching this, and they certainly think they've found something of interest. None of us know exactly what it is, Scott, but when you hear about how a compass is acting very strangely around this, then that definitely piques my attention for sure. What the hell have they found?
Exactly. And that third picture of the ocean floor right there, with that just, it's like a perfect rectangle, man.
Nature doesn't do that. Nature just doesn't do that.
No.
It's like saying that white picket fence, totally natural. just grew up out of the ground. Don't worry about it. Painted itself. It's a natural paint color as well. You know?
Yeah, I wonder if this is related to Anomaly 1. Obviously, there's got to be some kind of relation.
Well, we've always kind of assumed, Scott, or we've always looked at it as being something that maybe crashed into the ocean because there's that scar that you see as well in some of the pictures, right? But perhaps we're maybe looking at the top of a complex.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people say, okay, what if it's a crashed UFO, but what if it's like the top of a dome? You know what I mean? Like
I sent you a picture there, Scott, and there's some grooves and lines on it that, when you look at it in the context of what we're saying now, it looks very much like steps. you know?
And I mean, come on, how could that be formed naturally? There's no way that those 90-degree angles, and even on if you look at the left hand side of it, you see like a perfect sort of circle, right, on the
Yep.
left
Yeah,
hand,
yeah.
on the very
Yeah.
left hand. You see what I mean? And it's so weird. It is so weird. It definitely looks like, what it reminds me of is a lot of these sort of
Well,
these structures
if you
that are
look,
just carved out of the side of mountains, just
yes,
carved out of rock. And
again,
so
taking advantage of that natural kind of geology that's already
yes,
there.
yeah, exactly. I think we're looking at the remnants of some ancient civilization. Um, that's all I can. I don't think it's a crashed UFO or anything like that. I think we're looking at the remnants of something that was carved out of the existing mountain or rock that was there. And
Scott, think about it, right? If we were to look down on, say, one of the Aztec or Mayan pyramid complexes, and then imagine if we buried, say, 90% of them in sand, and you only had the little bit sticking out the top, and you flew over there and you took some aerial photographs. That's going to look like some weird kind of structures sitting right there, and they're not going to look too dissimilar to some of the impressions that we're getting from the bottom of the Baltic Sea.
Exactly. And you see the I don't know if is that an actual photo or an artist kind of
This is artist's impressions, I believe, okay. Scott.
Okay. So, but I wonder if it kind of gives you an idea of the actual scale, though. Like if somebody was actually down there by it, is that kind of to scale? Because then if you look at that and you look at what appears to be those steps, compared to the scale of that person, then we have to start talking about the giant thing again.
Yeah. Big time.
Because those look like steps to me moving up. And how much of this anomaly is actually still buried under the ocean floor, right? I mean, I think we're just seeing a very, very small part of it that is exposed, and it makes you wonder how much of it actually continues further down,
Scott,
under the sediment.
Here we go. It says here, the Swedish team, Ocean X, or the Swedish-based Ocean X team, describes themselves as treasure hunters and salvage operators who specialize in underwater searches for sunken, quote, antique high-end alcoholic beverages and historic artifacts. Now, according to the team, they returned from an expedition in the Baltic Sea between Sweden and Finland with a blurry but interesting solar image when searching for an old shipwreck in the summer of 2011. They have claimed that their image shows a 60-meter, 200-foot diameter circular object. So I think that scale sounds about right then, Scott.
Yeah, I think, that sounds about right.
Yeah, your average human, smaller than 2 meters anyway, right? Go for 1.5 meters to 2 meters, and you see the size of him by that object. Yeah, I'd say they're trying to keep it almost to scale, man.
Yeah, that artist representation, I think, does a pretty good job of representing that scale. So yeah, I mean, there you go. I mean, that's a huge structure. That's a huge, whatever we're looking at down there, that was massive. And like I said, those steps don't look like something a normal sized human would be utilizing.
And you think about it as well, Scott, between Finland and Sweden. I mean, you can easily picture how at one time that there may have been no water there. So there could easily have been structures built on what was once dry land.
That's what I'm saying. Though that we're talking about pre-flood civilizations. We're talking about a time when the sea level was, at least 400 feet shallower. Um, so a lot of this stuff would have been exposed. It would have just been on dry land at the time, and over the hundreds of thousands of years that have passed, it's now underwater.